I've been gone for 3 months, which is basically the whole of Q1 without posting any YouTubes, pure radio silence, I know. And before anyone says anything, no, it wasn't because I was having a mental breakdown, and it's not because I didn't quit. Like, I've been out there doing life properly, exactly what I got into this industry for. I've been to Colombia with 2 of my mates. I've had a record revenue month in January. 2 of the closers inside HSS hit 7k, and then we've got Steph. You know, you lot have watched from the beginning, has just hit her first 10k month in March. So yeah, gal, listen, it's been a lot has happened, and in this video, I'm going to be taking you through all of it, the good, the bad, the hard, the unexpected, and why the world right now has completely changed the way I think about how I make money. So go and grab yourself a brew or a glass of wine or whatever, and let's go. So January, I went to Colombia with 2 of my friends who also just happened to be students inside of my HSS Academy. Now, before anyone DMs me going, oh my God, Vicky, is it safe? You know, did you survive? Yes, here I am. Medellin is probably one of the most beautiful cities that I've ever been to. The food, the weather, the people, the culture, I was absolutely obsessed. But here's where it started going a little bit mad before we even got there. So the plan was to fly initially with Amber from Dubai to London, and then London to Miami was supposed to be with Amber, and then Miami to Medellin, which was breaking the trip up a little bit. And I treated her to a business class upgrade. I upgraded her with my air miles. She'd never flown business before and she was absolutely buzzing. Then she got sick the night before we were supposed to be flying and couldn't fly. So I ended up doing the entire journey out there on my own, 3 flights solo, which to be honestly was fine. I've travelled alone loads before, but it just wasn't really the send-off that we had planned. So yeah, landed in Medellin, met Elle, who already lives there, and within about 48 hours, I completely forgot all of that chaos. So yeah, let me be real with you about something that nobody talks about when they romanticize working from anywhere in the world. I know that I'm guilty about that as well. The time zone battered me, to be honest. Obviously, I'm based in Dubai. Colombia's 8 hours, 9 hours behind Dubai, 6 hours behind the UK. So when it was 9 a.m. for me and my team, it was literally the middle of the night for me. So I was finishing calls, well, pretty early, but starting work when everyone else was like going out for dinner. And I was basically, it felt like I was behind. And obviously, look, I know I chose to do that. Nobody forced me. But, you know, that's the beauty of what we do, right? I could still work and the business didn't stop. But there was days where I did think like, wow, this is heavy, you know, getting up at 7 a.m. straight away. I was on my phone, my cortisol levels from 6, 7 a.m. in the morning all the way through to the afternoon. And I think it's important to say out loud because, you know, I never want to sell you guys a fantasy. Like, remote work is freedom, but it is still work. The skill, yes, it travels with you, but the discipline has to travel with you as well. And that being said, yeah, we had an amazing month in January, a record month while I was out there learning salsa dancing at 2 a.m. And the business kept growing, and you know, that is, when you think about it, still what blows my mind every single time. Now, the bit that I didn't plan for, one of the best things that I've ever done, I actually signed up to learn Spanish. 3 hours a day, 5 days a week in a physical school, so 60 hours in total in a classroom with an actual teacher forcing myself to show up. And I'm so proud of myself. I didn't miss one single session. It's probably one of the hardest things I've had to commit to for a very, very long time. You know, I'm sat there like a pure numpty trying to conjugate verbs at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And yeah, I think the thing is, thank God Elle speaks fluent Spanish because me and Amber would have been completely lost otherwise. But yeah, it was class. I learned to salsa, I galloped on horses, went to a few cabalgatas, which if you don't know what that is, Google it. It's 100% worth it. I met people out there in the industry from the United States in person, rooftop parties, a lot of late nights. The people, the culture, the history, honestly, it was one of the best experiences of my life, and 100% will be going back. From there, back to the UK, planned to stop over for a few days on the way home to Dubai, but obviously ended up extending the stay because of everything that's going on in the world right now, which actually brings me to my next point. So I do want to talk about something a bit more serious for a minute, because genuinely I think that most people in the online space, they are simply ignoring it. The world right now, as you guys know, is pretty unpredictable. Like what's happening geopolitically at the moment, geopolitically with the economic stuff, what's happening with unemployment globally, you know, it's real. And I live in Dubai, and living in Dubai, I feel it differently to, you know, how I would back in the UK. We're surrounded here by business people, expats, people who, you know, have built lives that aren't really tied to one country or one employer or one salary. And when you do see what's happening in the world, you know, I do still have friends who are going through layoffs, company restructures, AI flipping entire industries overnight. And it has just made me realise something really uncomfortable. And that is the most dangerous place, or the most dangerous thing that you can have right now, is one stream of income that depends on someone else keeping you employed. And I simply genuinely feel so lucky. I don't use that word lightly either, because I know luck had very little to do with it. Actually, you know, at the end of the day, I made a decision years ago to learn a skill that's mine, like properly mine. No one can take it off me. And I can take it anywhere in the world, and I can generate income from it. And in Colombia, you know, the time zone's destroying me, Spanish classes in the afternoon, 9 a.m. on Dubai body time, and the business still grew because the skill travels with me everywhere. I built something that doesn't need me sat at a desk in one specific postcode, answering to somebody whose name is on an office door. And yeah, watching what's happening right now, in all honesty, that decision feels even more important than it ever has. Because like, if you're watching this and you're sat in a job that somebody else completely controls, you know, I'm not saying this to even scare you, by the way. I'm saying it because I think you deserve options, proper ones. Options come from skills that you own, not titles that you are renting off somebody else. So something that's genuinely Q1 made me heart full was doing a hairstyle society meetup in Liverpool. And honestly, like, I'm not sure if I've got the right words for it. You know, I started HSS in December 2024, so less than 18 months ago. I knew that there was a big gap in the market, and I knew women were being completely underserved in this space, but I don't think I fully understood what it would become until like I was sat in a room full of these girls, you know, Steph, Georgia, Robin, Megan, like literally making money from this skill that I taught them. Building lives that they were proud of. You know, Tasha, she couldn't make it unfortunately because she's just travelled to Dubai, looking on moving to Dubai. Some of them I've only ever spoken to on Zoom, so seeing them in person, you know, hearing about them talking about their commissions, their placements, their highest month ever, you know, that meant a lot to me. You know, there were moments in that room where I had to take a minute, because you know, when you're in the day-to-day numbers on a screen, messages in the community, you don't always feel the weight of what you've built. And that day, like, yeah, just in-person energy, I felt it properly. The energy's completely different, you know, and that's exactly why I do it, not for, you know, the numbers on the screen and the screenshots, but yeah, for moments like that, it was pretty special. If you weren't at the meetup, we're absolutely doing more of these, so get involved. So yeah, the 15k investment that I've just made, this one's going to surprise some of you, but I have just invested $15,000 into an AI automation for the business. Now, like, before you switch off and get bored, this isn't me like going pure robot. Like, it's actually pretty strategic. You know, the online space is changing faster than a lot of people realize, and most people, what they're getting wrong with AI right now, though, the good salespeople, trust me, they're not going anywhere. Like, genuine human connection, emotional intelligence, walking someone through a life-changing decision, that for me, that can't be automated. There's still definitely a human job, and it always will be. But what can be automated is, you know, the back-end systems, the admin, the follow-ups, the systems that keep a business running. And every hour that I spend on something a system could handle is an hour that I'm not spending on what actually matters, which is, to me, you know, right now, coaching, creating content for you guys like this, closing. So yeah, $15,000, it's a big investment, but I back it completely, because the businesses that don't adapt to what's happening right now are the ones who are going to get left behind. And in all honesty, like, I'm not planning on being one of them anytime soon. So yeah, right, I also want to introduce you to our new coach inside HSS, Rosaline. Now, I'll be honest, you'll see me post Rosaline a lot. We've done a podcast together. Obviously, scroll back a few months ago and you'll be able to watch that back. But yeah, some of you will know her from the podcast, and I've just officially brought her her on as our new sales coach inside HSS. She's also just been promoted to almost like a fractional sales manager inside the company she's working for, and honestly she's incredible. Having her on the team means our students get more support, more call reviews, more real-time feedback while they're actually in their roles, and this is what leveling up the program looks like. So yeah, in terms of results this quarter, I need to shout out the girls inside here. So 2 of them hitting 7k months. Natasha, Rosaline, and you know, it's not luck, it's what the performance pathway is actually doing exactly what it's designed to do. Getting your consistent reps in, quality coaching, the right offers, the standards, creating results, and then there's Steph. Like some of you guys will know Steph's story. She submitted a role plays 5 times before she passed. Most people would have quit after attempt 2, and in all honesty, like this quarter she's just hit her first 10k month, and like yeah, for me, I remember the day when I hit my first 10k month, and it almost feels illegal, to be honest, like just not real. And I genuinely had to sit with that for a minute when she told me, because I remember where she started, you know, those role play submissions. I remember coaching her through those moments where she nearly gave up and struggling to get a first job, and yeah, now here she is, you know, 12 months down the line, 10k month as a closer, working from her laptop on her terms, traveling the world, you know, packed in her job. And that's the whole point of everything that we do, and that's why the program has standards, because the standards that we set are the ones that actually create results. So that's why we don't cut corners on the trainer, and that's exactly why the performance pathway exists. So yeah, when you do it properly, this is what happens. So yeah, I mean, to wrap up, Colombia, it did batter me in terms of the time zone, flying solo, when Amber got sick, Spanish school, 60 hours on top of running a business with 120 odd students in there, a record month in January, the world getting wilder, a Liverpool meetup that I'll remember forever, spending $15,000 on an AI mentorship, Rosalie joining the team, being promoted to a fractional sales manager. We've got 2 students who hit 7k, Steph hitting 10, and many, many more getting promoted to closers and hitting record months. So yeah, over the next few weeks, I am going to be talking on this channel about stuff I've never properly covered before, content specifically for the woman who's, you know, if you're watching this, you're already doing well, you're earning decent money, but you still feel like something's off. That ceiling feeling, that's where we're going. So yeah, if that's you, make sure you subscribe, because it is about to get interesting. And if you want to know more about HSS, then yeah, book a call with the team, and we'll leave the link below, and follow me on Instagram as well.